Hey, good afternoon, fam. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday to y'all. Happy Sunday. Just finished my workout and I'm actually doing my cool down right now. So I'm gonna walk for probably a good 25, 30 minutes or so. But while I do my walk, I figure I chat with you guys just a little bit, right? So I posted a video yesterday, I believe, or I did the video yesterday or the day before yesterday, not sure, but somebody had reached out to me, right? And they were saying, hey, listen, the numbers in those videos, because the video was actually about, how much you need to have saved up in retirement, right? And they were asking me a question like, actually a few questions, this individuals asked me like, the number in those, in that video, is it for like an individual or like a household? And I have to tell her like, that's individual. That's individual. So why am I bringing this up? Because I didn't really think about this until she asked me that question. Because if you are, for example, a stay-at-home wife, right? Then your spouse, your husband, it's imperative that he may want to save a little bit more than what the numbers that I put out there is. Because obviously, you have a spouse to care for also. I don't believe it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a significant amount, but you got to factor in, because here's why I say that, because, when you have a job, right, your health care is with your job, your spouse, your kids, everybody is covered. But once you leave the job, all that goes away. But your family will still need some form of health care, right? I've actually never been up there. Everybody is walking down stairs. There's like a little hill up there. I see it all the time, especially during the summer, but I've actually never been up there. I'm done today and see what's going on up there. But yeah, so back to my topic here, right? You gotta factor that individual in reference to healthcare. Obviously, that individual still has personal needs. You understand? So it might just be a little bit more. It's not going to be double the amount, obviously. It might be just a little bit more, than that number. But it is something to actually, consider that, hey, I might need to save a little bit more, because I have a spouse to take care of. You understand? And also, too, I kind of want to say this, too, because we are entering into an age where we don't really know what's gonna happen to our children. You understand? In the near future, right? With AI and all the things going on, right? Your children might need some form of support from you. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people say, "Oh, they're grown," and blah blah blah, right? But a lot of things that's happening right now, it's not gonna be any fault of theirs. So listen, I'm just throwing it out there. It don't have to be you, because I know some people have this mentality that once the kids are grown, then they're no longer responsible for them. I personally don't feel that way. I'm not saying I'm going to help my kids with everything, but if hard times comes, I got to be able to be there, you know what I'm saying, to support my kids. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I don't know why any parent won't want to do that, but that's just my personal view and my opinion about that. You know what I'm saying? So when we are looking to put money away, okay, we got to factor in like quite a lot of things. And I was watching I forgot this guy's name, and I follow him a lot. It's the gentleman who is out there in Florida and California sometimes. He does a little video where he's walking around, he's in a tank top and glasses, and he was just talking about retirement, and some people who are in retirement and they hate it, or let's say they go through some form of depression, and stuff like that, and they rather choose to work. And there are people like that out there, people who I don't know, to me the whole point of retirement, to me, is so I don't have to work. You know, and he was throwing out, a couple of reasons why, you know, some people may, get depressed during retirement, because they're used to working and now they're not working anymore. So, they might be, they don't know what to do. And I'm like, I could list 100 things that I can do in a month. And we only have 30 days in a month, right? I could list 100 things, that we can do during retirement. Swimming, tennis, golf, traveling, trying out different restaurants, running club, gym, whatever, right? It's a bunch of things, right? That I can name that will keep me occupied. Things that I wasn't doing. I wasn't able to do. Spending time with the grandkids, spending more time with your spouse, getting to know your spouse all over again. You and your spouse doing things together. You understand? So I don't know. I've always feel weird, like when somebody say, "Oh, people, who want to work during retirement is because they're bored." No, I have a different opinion about that. I truly believe that a lot of these people, unless you're just one of those persons who don't have friends, who don't have families, and then in that situation, then yeah, maybe, right? But most of the time, most people are gonna have friends, they're gonna have families, they're gonna have a community. So to me, why would you want to retire just to go back to work? The way I look at it, like a person who does that, they're most likely considering the fact that they're gonna have to go back to work, or else they're gonna run out of money. They're gonna have to go back to work, or they're gonna run out of money, or they need the extra income to offset their bills. That's the only thing that I can imagine. Because again, if I retire, man, I'll be in the gym, getting my health together, making sure I can stay alive longer, making sure the body's functioning. I'll be running, playing tennis, swimming, golf. I love reading. Oh my God, let me retire. Let me retire. My the amount of books I'll be reading on a daily or weekly basis is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I gotta squeeze time in now to read books or whatever. But if I'm retired, man, I'm reading books every day. I'm in my patio, my backyard, sipping some lemonade, reading a book. I'm on the couch reading a book, something. You know what I'm saying? But the last on my mind is for me to go back to work. I'm sorry, And then if it's to the point where you do get depressed, supposedly, join a gym, join a club. You join a tennis club, all those retirees there, you make new friends. Okay, play golf. Golf might be a little bit expensive, but there's things that you can do. So I don't buy the fact that somebody said, "Oh, they're bored, so they go back to work." To me, okay, cool. Let's just say you are bored. Then why don't you work for free? Why don't you give that extra money to somebody that might need the hours and the money? You understand? Why are you taking that money from somebody that could use it when you're supposed to be retired? That's just my logic. You understand? So, and I don't know how true this is. I heard this before. I'm not sure how true this is, but somebody told me that in Nigeria, for example, right, that they don't really hire older folks like that. Okay, and I was like, well, why is that? They was like, because the way they look at it is they need a job for the younger people. And if you're older and you haven't done the right thing, most people are going to have 40 to 50 years worth of work life. So let's say you start at, for example, 20. Okay, that's 40 whole years of work life that you have. Okay, that you should have done something positive. You understand, with your life. You understand? You should have like save money, plan better. You understand? So, and if you didn't do that, and the way they look at it is, we can't sacrifice the youth because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. And in a sense, I must say, I cannot agree with that. Because if you refuse to give up your seat, then a young person with a young family can't work. You understand? So, how you doing? So that's what I look at. Like, if you refuse to give up your seat, you have 40 years in this seat. Now this is if you have a job. Now, if you own a business, then yeah, work as long as you want to work. It's your business. You understand? But even with that, to me, I think it has to be a point where you scale back and you just collecting checks now. You have people who are running it, whether your children, whether somebody you trust to run to head it, whatever, right? But it has to come to a point. And I was watching this guy the other day in London, and he was talking about how I think he's like 60. He just turned 60, I believe. And he was talking about how people around him was just passing away. His father passed away, and I think his dad said something to him like son, you got to take time out to enjoy the things in life. Okay, you got to take time out to enjoy the things in life. Don't work your life away and miss out on the most important things, right? And that's how I feel about it. It's like, okay, cool. Listen, you work your butt off for 30 years, 40 years, right? There has to come to a point where you say, you know what? Let me pause and spend time with the wife. Let me pause and spend time with let me get to know my kids again. You know, let me spend time with my grandkids. Let me be able to spend time and share knowledge with my grandkids. Experiences that I've learned over the years with my grandkids. So to me, when I talk about this whole retirement thing, I'm talking about not only retiring, but retiring well. You understand? Having enough money where you don't have to stress how you're gonna pay bills. You know? And here's the deal. If you have a spouse and both of you guys are working, then you need to come together and figure out how you're gonna put a plan together so that way you guys can shut it down sooner than later. Right? Shut it down sooner than later. Okay? Nowadays, people, husband and wife, together, you would think that they'll be able to save more money and generate more wealth. Most of the time, they are probably in a worse situation than a single person, because they both come into the thing with their own debts, right? And they're both making good money. And because they're both making good money, in their mind, they feel as though they can just spend and just spend freely, right? So this retirement thing is crazy, because the past 3-6 months, I've been getting this feed, this information coming in. And I'm a person like I believe in signs. I believe in signs. Like when things start happening a lot, when I'm getting a lot of things coming to me, right? It's a reason for that. Whether it's for a personal reason or reason for me to share with people, I don't know. But I get in tune quickly when things start to happen. You understand? And I've been getting a lot of these retirement information, retirement data, you know, daily, whether it's Yahoo News, whether it's Dave Ramsey, you know, whatever, the Census Bureau, AARP, you know. And let me tell you something, those organizations, if they are releasing that information almost every day, they are concerned. They are concerned for a lot of people. Right now in America, most people around the age of 55 to 66, 20% of people in that age group have $0 for retirement. Zero. No IRA, no 401k, no savings, no mutual funds, nothing. $0 at the age of 55 to 66. I don't know. Some people will tell me, oh, sometimes people get busy with life, and that's not a concern. I don't know if I can buy that scenario because I'm 47 years old, and I'm like, okay, cool. Roughly 12 more years away from 59 and a half, right? Even though that's not my retirement goal, it's 55, okay? 55 is my retirement goal, right? But at 47, this actually started when I was 45, that I started to get really, really, really serious about it, right? And it was been on my mind. So to me, I don't know how a person can get all the way to age 55 or 66 and don't consider this important. Like it's when I close my eyes and picture being 60 or 65 and having to wake up every single day to go to work, I wake up terrified. I'm like, yo, no, this can't be. This can't be. So I don't, to me, I think a lot of it has to be some, and I know I'm gonna get some backlash for saying this, but a lot of it, I believe, has to be a responsibility. Is that a word? I think it is. Irresponsible. A lot of it have to be you being irresponsible. You choosing to live the way you want to live and not accounting for time. Most of the time, these individuals believe that they have time, and then they wake up one day and see that, oh my God, I'm 50. Oh my God, I'm 55. Oh my God, I'm 60. What am I gonna do? Because think about it. This is an information age. Every day you bombarded by some commercial about savings, retirement. Every single day it's on TV, it's on YouTube, it's on, as soon as you log onto your computer, you understand? Every year they have enrollment at jobs. So you can't say you didn't know. You understand? Like, I would let people in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s maybe get away with that. But once you get to the 90s, 2000s, 2020, you cannot say you didn't know. That's no, that is not a viable excuse anymore. I'm sorry. And I hope nobody get offended as to what I'm saying right now. Because check this out. I've been in business now for 16 years, right? And I happened to call a young lady. I was going through just like my list of names that I found, from a stack of names that was in the box that I was about to throw away. And I was like, oh my God, I ain't talked to this lady in a minute. Let me call her. And I just happened to call thinking I was just going to ask like a dumb question. And I was like, hey, let me ask you a question. I haven't seen you in like almost 10 years. She's like, yeah, I know. She's like, you still doing your insurance? I was like, yeah. And I was like, let me ask you a question. Did you end up getting that IUL we talked about? No. Did you end up getting insurance? No. What about your any savings, any retirement account? Well, I had a job. Now I'm working for myself now for the past 8 years or so, and I cashed in my 401k at the job about 8 years ago. So what do you have now? Nothing. Right? And we've been playing phone tags now for the past 2 months. So, talk to her 8 years ago. Life happened, 10 years ago. Life happens 8 years ago to her, right? And still till now, she don't have anything saved. This is normal. And even after making 3-4 phone calls with her to set up a time, she still have not committed. And this is an individual who is 53. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. You understand? So, you know, when we first met her, it was through one of my agents, right? We went to a house, nice house, beautiful house, right? In front of the house, it's a BMW X5. That's what she had then. And that was one of my dream car. I couldn't afford that car back then, right? So, and she dressed well. I'm talking about like she dressed well. Like she had nice things. But that's the lifestyle that this person was living, right? And I will see her in a minute. I don't know if she's still living that same lifestyle. But if you haven't sat down with somebody in 10 years, 8 years, to put a plan together, that tells me that you're still trying to hold on to the money because you still want to maintain your lifestyle. That's what I mean when I say irresponsible. That's what I mean when I say irresponsible. Lacking discipline. Okay? Don't want to let go of things that's actually hurting you. Okay? So listen, I don't want this to be a long message to you guys. It was just something that I was thinking about as a young lady called me to find out if the number that I put out there was for an individual person or a household. You understand? This is like, I don't know, like a lot of people don't take this seriously, right? Because they look at it like it's so far away. I was just 20 yesterday. That's how it felt to me. I was just 20 yesterday. Now I'm 47, grown man, 47 years old today, right? That's how fast life goes. That's how fast life moves. And if you're watching this video and you say, hey, this is me, I need to figure something out. I need to do something. Here's what I always tell people. Do what you can. Start small. My first IUL, the lady who did my policy, when she sat down with me, she did my budget and everything like that, and she's like, oh yeah, you could swing $600 a month. I was like, nope, not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, you're trying to take away from my weekends. That's in my mind. You trying to take away from my weekend. Okay? And we settled at like 280 something. Right? So that's my first one. Right? And after getting to the business and learning more and more about why this is important, okay, I opened other policies. And now my personal policy, I do roughly about 1560, somewhere around there, 1560 a month on my personal policy. Then you factor in the kids policy, and I do a total of, let's say, $400 for each child a month. Then you throw in my mom's policy. So I'm funding an IUL a little bit over $2,500 a month, right? Because I own all of it, right? And I understand the value and what it's supposed to do. Okay? As I got more and more entrenched in the business and more understanding and why this is important and how the wealthy stay wealthy and how the wealthy grow wealth. And a lot of the way they grow wealth is due to discipline. You have to decide to do it. And then you got to stick to that thing you decide to do. It's not rocket science. It is not rocket science at all. So listen, if you are interested in putting a plan together for your retirement, you're saying, you know what? I'm not gonna wait another day. I've been sleeping on this. It was a gentleman in Potomac, Maryland, that I was going back and forth with him since October of last year. And I just thought this guy wasn't gonna do nothing. Then one day he just called me out of nowhere. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, hey, I'm gonna do that plan. I'm like, oh, for real, what happened? He's like, man, I just got out of bed one day and said, man, like, I'm wasting time. Those were his words. Like, what am I doing? I don't have nothing at all. He's also in his 40s. You know what I'm saying? And we end up doing this policy. So listen, if you wanna set up a time to go over and see how we can benefit you, message me at 443-208-5480. That's 443-208-5480. Or you're free to go to my site and message me from there. Let me know what you're looking to do. Let me know how, let me know what you want from us and how we can help you. Okay, my site is TitanEvolutionGroup.com. That's TitanEvolutionGroup.com. Listen, I hope to hear from you. Life changes for you when you decide to change. Life just doesn't change. Life changes for you when you decide to change. Listen, hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Talk to you soon.